So anyway, so here we go. This is the SD drone, S5 drone, I'm sorry, from LBLA Toys. I was kind of concerned about the packaging because it's really small and on the script, but then, so I'm going to do a quick unboxing here. Ta-da! It's actually not a bad sized looking drone. You can see it on the inside. You get this little bag of goodies too. It's got a little camera holder, screwdriver, a couple extra props, 2 extra props, a couple extra of those little prop thingies, charger for the battery. I'm going to open up the drone here. The drone itself is a brush drone. Very light casing. It kind of reminds me of the BB Run drone, if you're familiar with that. Looks like the camera might, yeah, the camera pivots. It is a Wi-Fi only camera. There is a, as a couple other reviewers have pointed out, as I did notes, there's a slot in the back, but that is not for an SD card. So it does not handle an SD card. It's got a cute little light in the front. Inside there is a battery already. It is a 3.7 550 milliamp battery, hour battery. It goes on the inside. It looks like it's a pretty standard plug too, so I have like a ton of these batteries, so won't have to worry about charging. It should go in just like that. So they could take a bunch of different type of batteries. I have 1,000 milliamp batteries that look like they could fit in here no problem. There's a nice little card that comes with it. Want some feedback. It's got legs, prop gear, the controller, very nice. Seems not exceptionally sturdy, but feels nicely made. It feels good in the hands a little bit. It's got a couple of good options as far as record. I believe there's a stunt button, which I think is here. There's a ton of trim options. Overall, very slick looking drone. Let's see if we can turn on here real quick. So yeah, it definitely does. So we'll get a look at it. We'll get some flight footage of it later, or at least some, we'll hook the app up and we'll get a look at it later and see how it flies. I'm pretty optimistic for this guy. Most of the reviews I saw were pretty good. It feels like it's a nice sturdy, I mean, it doesn't feel exceptionally, but the plastic is a nice, like a flexible plastic. So this thing should be able to take some nice little crashes. So if you have somebody that's learning, that wants to pick up the hobby of droning, this is the kind of stuff I'm always looking for. Stuff that's, that can take a pounding. The gears are exceptionally huge. If you can see, it reminds me kind of the Sky Viper, where you have these really big gears on a brush motor. You are going to have to probably at some point come up with replacement options for this. So if you like it, and then because these brush motors are not going to last that long. That's been my experience anyways. So I like that the camera pivots, so that's kind of an interesting feature. Although I'm having a hard time making it pivot. Maybe you got to use both hands. I don't know. We'll get a look at it later. Overall, so yeah. All right, so we're out here today. This was a drone I got on Amazon. It's called the LBLA FPV drone. You can see there it is right there. It says on the side of it, Verflu aircraft. I don't know what that means. But at any rate, so as you may be going through Amazon and you may be looking for a starter drone for your kid, or you know, you're a young adult like me. It does offer a couple really good functions. I will say it does retail for $39.99 on Amazon. I will post a link in the comments if you're interested. If you're going across, if you're just looking at, if you're looking for it, obviously, if you're looking for a good starter. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this all the way, but we're going to show you guys what it can do. Now, it does have an FPV camera. I will show you the camera. It's in my pocket. Here you go, right here. I don't have it on. There is a As other reviewers have pointed out, there's a slot in the back which looks like it may have been intended for an SD card. It is not for an SD card. I did not put one in it, so I did not get one stuck. The camera, I'm not even going to bother showing you. I'm just going to toss that because that camera is junk. You could probably put a different camera on top of here. Probably a SEMA camera or something like that. It looks like it could probably fit, potentially. But that camera is junk. I tried it. I tried to use the app. It doesn't save the video to the app. You have to save to the app, and it was just complete junk. It is a little windy here, and I do want to kind of show some of the functionality here. I automatically turned it up to its highest rate here. It is a smooth flyer for sure. It does fly rather smooth. I'll show you flips. It flips really well. So in terms of just practicing, not a bad little drone if you're just looking to get some practice in. Just kind of, it's kind of breezy right now. It seems to not getting pushed around too much, and it's a little breezy right now. I do have it at its highest rate by default. Like I said, it flips. It flips real nice. It's got a nice flip to it. As you can see, it kind of it's holding on to the breeze rather nicely. Where this thing starts declining, though, is, and I did this test earlier. I'm going to show you guys real quick. So, one thing I like to test with a lot of these toys is what happens if it loses signal. So, what happens? Does it kind of just drain off? Does it fly away with the wind? Is it a flyaway risk? So, I'm going to shut off the controller, and let's see what happens. As you can see, it starts flashing. It starts flashing. It's still flying. It does fall. So as you can see, it did fall. So if it loses signal from the controller, as you can see, the motor's shut off when it turns upside down. It will fall down. Now, what I did find, though, and something that does concern me, especially if you're a young person, there's the cam, going off, and you're using this thing, so we get ready, we're back up in the air again. Alright, we got it at its highest. We got it at the highest point. Now, if you go up a little bit, and notice this, we go a little bit away, I'm going to fly it over hither. It does start to lose signal from about 50 feet away. Now, I'm not going to fly that far away from me right now because of the wind, and I don't want to lose control of it. But I did notice if it goes about 50 feet in any direction, you will start losing control over it, and it'll start hovering by itself. That potentially could be a flyaway. Oh, there it is right there. I can't, oh yeah. So if it flies away from you a little bit, right now I have no control over it. There it is. Now it's responsive. It flies away a little bit too far, and I'm not that far away right now. It starts getting very unresponsive, and it just kind of just starts hovering there, and it does not drop. So it's picking up a little bit of signal, so it's not enough to tell it that there is no signal. But I did notice it when I was doing some practice flying with this, that it will start becoming very unresponsive at about 50 feet away from you. Maybe less than that. Maybe even 25 feet. So let's see if I can try it again here. I want to hit this house. There. Now it's kind of, it kind of starts acting a little weird. So if it doesn't pick up a signal, other than a lot of drones, it's not going to drop right away. Let's go this way with it. Yeah, right about there, it starts getting a little unresponsive. Now I can pull it back here, but if you put this thing too far up in the air, which people tend to do with drones sometimes, you may, in a strong wind like this, lose it. That's about as high as I would go with it. So that's right there, about 25 feet, maybe less. And it's really hard to kind of come down. It doesn't really, I'm pushing down right now full throttle, and it's slow. And that's pretty typical amongst a lot of toy grade altitude hold drones, that they tend to not come down so quickly. I mean, I do like it. It's got some pretty good features. It's a nice flyer if you're just looking to practice. If you're just, just trying to get your, keep your reflexes up or stuff like that. I'll show you another thing I like about it real quick here too, as I pull it down a little bit, because I want to make sure I pull it down before I take my eyes off of it. Lay it right near the camera that I threw. It does land rather well, as you can see too. And now, so it does come with a pretty standard battery. As you can see, I've got tons of these batteries, different milliamps. Those will all pretty much fit in there. I have a 1,000 milliamp battery that'll fit in there, so that'll give you some pretty good flight time. Flight time is pretty good. I've been getting about 7 to 10 minutes, which is what advertises, depending on the battery. The stock battery kind of comes out. Let's kind of like fly it around a little bit and see what happens when the battery dies. I'm curious if it starts there. It starts flashing. Now it's starting to flash, just letting me know that the battery is dying. So it does give me a warning. There's no controller beep or anything like that. You can see it's flashing. It does have an auto land feature. We'll put that right in the grass there. All in all, for 40 bucks, it's not bad. The controller itself, you have your trims for all your locations. You have your video camera button. You have your stop, which I guess is stop recording button. Your speed rate, your auto takeoff and land. It's got, your, what's that called? Headless mode right here. That works pretty decently, and then your flip button. So the controller is very nice. It feels good. 4 AA batteries. It's okay. So for 40 bucks, I'd have to say it's not terrible. You could forget about the camera though. It's not going to be a very good camera bird It's not going to be a very good camera bird at all, just for recording footage or anything like that. You could probably try to put a different camera on it. I haven't tried that yet. I may give it a shot at one point. So all in all, though, I mean, for 40 bucks, not bad. It's a decent starter. It's rugged. It will take some punishment. I've crashed it already a couple times just to kind of crash real quickly. Just to kind of do a quick durability test, I'm going to crash this drone into this tree right there. See if I can. There's a speed. Oh, look at that. It bounced right off. But it's durable. It's a nice soft plastic. It reminds me a lot of the BB Run drone. So not bad altogether. For 40 bucks, it has a really cool look to it too. You can see the look of it. It's pretty nice. It's a nice soft plastic, so it's not going to break if it crashes too much. It looks like the motors are pretty good sized motors, or the gears going to it. It is a brush drone. Looks like it would be pretty easy to replace the motors if you had to. It's probably a pretty basic motor as well. So, but yeah, 40 bucks, not bad. I will put the link in the comments, but like I said, don't expect to get much out of it as far as like aerial shots or anything like that. This is not going to be a good aerial shot drone. Just not. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video real quick. It's just a real quick overview of the drone, and please subscribe. Thank you.